Chapter 4. Sacrifice or Pay the Universe Interest. Principle. The compound interest of the universe will either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy's worst enemy. The most dangerous thing in the universe is to not know how it works. Unfortunately, most people live their lives never understanding that their frequency is being multiplied. Now, one of the most critical fundamentals is what I call the universal compound. Take the concept of compound interest. Compound interest just means you get money on your money, and then you get money on that money too, and it just keeps going. Albert Einstein, who called it the eighth wonder of the world, said, "He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." Like a snowball rolling downhill, it gets bigger and bigger. Universal compound is the same thing, just with frequency. The more a frequency multiplies, the more solid it becomes, which solidifies it into reality. With an understanding of that phenomenon on a universal level, you have the opportunity to earn your desired reality or pay the price. The longer one is in a particular frequency, the more opportunity that frequency will have to materialize into reality as a condition, circumstance, or event. After materializing into reality, it now has the opportunity to be an emotionally intense experience. Since emotion is the language of the subconscious mind, it will reinforce itself deeper and deeper into the subconscious mind. The longer you're in a frequency, the more it materializes and solidifies its existence into your mind. This can be extrapolated to any experience in reality, whether financial, romantic, health, or career-related. A simple snowball that gains momentum eventually becomes an avalanche, and it's the same with your frequency. The unfortunate part about life is that people experience adversity due to nothing more than the universal pendulum swinging back and forth, but then make what should have been only a momentary experience into their reality. Emotion is the breeding ground for the universal compound effect to take place. When the energy of emotion gains momentum, it multiples and strengthens, eventually becoming reality. Momentum is just consistency, and consistency is a form of alchemy. Consistency is what takes a single vibration and gives it enough momentum to become a rhythm, which becomes a frequency that then becomes a reality. You can either build positive energetic momentum or negative energetic momentum. Regardless of who you are or whether it is negative or positive, the universe will multiply that frequency. It will just do what it does. This is what Christ meant in Matthew 13:12. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. The esoteric nature of this verse is all about your energetic momentum. The frequency that you have will be multiplied, whether that works for or against you. The universe is impersonal in its operation. This could offer metaphysical insight into why the rich get richer, while the poor get poorer. The universal compound reveals an unfortunate truth, which is that those who tend to suffer spend the rest of their lives trapped in that suffering because of the universe compounding their frequency. A snowball that gains momentum has the potential to cause an avalanche. A small wind that gains momentum has the potential to become a tornado. The old frequency that you wish to detach from has compounded, and as a result has been expressed through the conditions, circumstances, events, and people in your life. The old frequency has been able to extract plenty of emotion out of you, and so long as it continues to do so, it will multiply itself. Until you sacrifice the old frequency, there will not be enough space for the new one. Throughout all civilizations from the beginning of time, it has been understood that to receive something from God or the universe, a sacrifice must be made. In ancient Egypt, Kemet, and Mesopotamia, people made offerings of food, animals, or valuables to deities to gain favor, protection, or abundance. temples were built as grand acts of devotion to secure blessings. In many religious traditions, fasting is a form of sacrifice to purify oneself and receive divine insight or blessings. For example, in Christianity, Lent involves giving up pleasures as an act of devotion. In Islam, Ramadan is a month of fasting that strengthens spiritual connection. Even in the 21st century, in a non-religious context, the principle still applies. To achieve success, people often sacrifice comfort, time, and immediate gratification. The point is clear. Sacrifice is an inescapable demand of the universe. Sacrifice typically has negative connotations and is associated with evil and harm, but it is a fundamental law of the universe that is unavoidable, especially in the context of entering your desired reality. Sacrifice is simply another way of saying exchange. The prerequisite to you materializing your desired reality is you sacrificing. You must play by the rules of the universe to win the game. And a foundational truth is that the universe does not operate by creating something from nothing. You will never gain something from nothing. Nothing will never produce something. For something to be gained, something must be exchanged. This is fractal throughout nature. From photosynthesis, to the food chain, to the nitrogen cycle, at every point there is an exchange. This is also fractal within the very fabric of your being. You sacrifice one breath to receive another. The universe is forever in a rhythmic exchange, and since you are a microcosm of the universe, that means you are in a constant rhythmic exchange. What you exchange is frequency. You are in a constant cycle of exchanging frequencies for realities, and realities for frequencies. This is the nature of the universe. To receive a new reality simply requires you to sacrifice your current reality. The issue is that, unconsciously, more than likely, you don't want to sacrifice your current reality, but not for the reasons you think. Whether you realize this or not, the most addictive substance in the universe isn't any man-made drug. It's frequency. This is why people stay in the same cycles for a long time, despite wanting to break free. This is why people stay in bad situations for a long time, despite knowing better. This is why change feels uncomfortable, even when it's for the better, because the mind craves the familiarity of its current frequency. It's simply an addiction to frequency. Everybody on the planet is addicted to one frequency or another, but without recognizing this, you'll never know why. Despite wanting better, getting better feels uncomfortable. The longer you spend in a frequency, the more opportunity you have to experience an emotionally intense reality, which reinforces that condition deeper into your subconscious, which solidifies into your reality. Many are not ready to give up their old frequency for the new, which logically doesn't make sense but begins to from a metaphysical, energetic perspective. For something new, a sacrifice must be made, and that sacrifice is you. The reality you desire requires a new frequency, and so long as you maintain your old one, you maintain the old reality. You must be willing to give up everything you've been for what you could be. Sacrifice is giving up something of a lower nature for something of a higher nature. In the same manner that the caterpillar gives up its identity to transform into a butterfly, so must you be willing to give up your old frequency for the new reality. This revelation presents an opportunity for self-reflection. Are you willing to give up your old frequency for your desired reality? This is something only you can answer. Altering your entire reality is no light-hearted gesture. It is radical. Giving up the old frequency might mean giving up the people associated with it. Giving up the old frequency might mean giving up the fun parts of it. Giving up the old frequency might mean giving up the aspects of it that have brought you comfort. You can't sit in two chairs at once. It is either the old frequency or the new frequency. Once you give up everything you know, you will realize that the only reason you knew it was because unconsciously you were holding on to it. Practical. As stated, you must sacrifice the old frequency, which is simply a matter of giving up the 7 keys that make frequency. Clinging to the old frequency puts you in energetic cuffs, which render you unable to move. You must be willing to give up your current beliefs of what it is you desire to free yourself from the old frequency and move towards the new frequency. You must be willing to give up your current conviction of what it is you desire to free yourself from the old frequency and move towards the new frequency. You must be willing to give up your current perception of what it is you desire to free yourself from the old frequency and move towards the new frequency. You must be willing to give up your current emotionally charged thoughts of what it is you desire to free yourself from the old frequency and move towards the new frequency. You must be willing to give up your current focus on what it is you desire to free yourself from the old frequency and move towards the new frequency. You must be willing to give up your current reactions to what it is you desire to free yourself from the old frequency and move towards the new frequency. You must be willing to give up your current expectations of what it is you desire to free yourself from the old frequency and move towards the new frequency. Decide now that everything that used to be will never be your reality. This will require you to be aware of the instances in your life when you begin to slip back into the old frequency. This awareness can only come by making the decision to be aware. The uncomfortable truth is that we purposely dismiss awareness because we don't want to be aware. As said many times, ignorance is bliss, but it is also your imprisoner.